All right.
Good.
So my name's Arlene Zingsheim. I'm not sure if I have the opportunity to meet all of you in the office, but I have been a realtor for 30 years and was with another company for about 15 years and with Keller Williams about 15 years. I've served on the ALC. I chaired the KW Cares Committee for many years and just have stepped down to kind of regroup. But when I started, we didn't have these wonderful classes like Ignite, and I love participating in them too, because every class that I participate in, I learn something new, even after being in the business so many years. So I hope that you leave with at least a few good suggestions. And I was talking with my partner, Sally, about taking classes. And the big thing is, you know, we take notes and we get a lot of information, but the most important thing is to implement, just do it. So I hope that you guys leave here after this hour together and that you do it, okay?
Yes.
All right. And feel free, if you have any questions, to just shout out and I'll stop talking because, you know, I don't really like to talk, but I'm gonna help you as much as I can. Has anyone here done an open house yet?
No.
Okay,
No, not yet.
okay.
One time, but it wasn't for myself. I did it for somebody else, but it was a good experience.
Open houses are a great way to meet clients and prospect and lead generate. When I started 30 years ago, one thing I did do is a lot of open houses. Almost every Sunday I did. And I know with the pandemic now, it's not really as easy, but I see signs out there every weekend. And the last open house my team did, we did it Saturday and Sunday, and we had 38 people come through. So it's a great way to meet people, put them in your database, and start working business for the future. And the great part about it is that it's really inexpensive. So what we're doing right now to grow our business is lead generating for buyers and sellers, having listing presentations, buyer presentations, previewing real estate. I hope these are some of the things that you're all working on a daily basis. Yes? Starting to?
I haven't.
Okay. Well, you're getting the tools right now to start doing them. Are you all making calls every day to your sphere, to your family, if you're just, you know, if you're new in the business? Is this something that you're putting in your daily routine? And be honest, it's okay if you say no. I'm not judging.
No.
Okay, not a problem, but let's try and do that. And if you're not doing that, maybe a lot of people say they don't have anybody to call. They don't know who to call. So doing an open house, the benefits of an open house are, you know, the prospecting model, the follow-up, and your daily success habits, which are why we do them. So what do you think? do you do open houses to sell the house or to pick up buyers or sellers? What do you guys think?
Pick up buyers.
Good, that's for sure.
There are the pickup sellers, but yeah, most of the time I think it's buyers.
Most of the time it is buyers, but I've done hundreds of them. And I can tell you that a lot of sellers, people in the neighborhood that are thinking of selling, go to open houses to see what it's all about, how you're doing your job. It's almost like a job interview. So keep that in mind when you're doing open houses, you know, dress for an open house, like a job interview. Wear a name badge that identifies you as the professional. And I just want to add that this name badge you can get at House of Magnets. This one was $15 because it has bling on it, but you can get just plain ones, Keller Williams with your name, 4 for $20. So please, you know, invest in that so that you can wear a nice shirt, a sweater, whatever. It doesn't have to be a jacket. And then put the name badge. They're magnetic, so they just stick on your shirts. So we're going to try and pick up buyers and sellers at open houses. And are we only there to sell the home? Then I guess no. We already, you know, discussed that. We're there to pick up new business, buyers and sellers. So we'll be going through these steps, the benefits, the prospecting model, the best practices, follow-up, creating your success list and your daily success habits, okay? So the benefits of open houses is that it's very inexpensive, doesn't cost you anything to have an open house or to sit in open house. You get so much exposure and you do get a lot of leads, and it's a way to meet buyers and sellers without making those dreaded phone calls, you know, the phone calls that we're all afraid to make. So what is your number one job in real estate?
Find people.
Yes, yes. Lead generation, right? Are you hearing that over and over and over again? So if you don't have a listing yet to host an open house, what are some of the ways that you can do an open house?
Well, we can communicate with other realtors in our market center and participate in their open houses.
Absolutely. And if you're a brand new agent, you may want to go on the MLS and check out who's doing open houses for, say, this weekend. Anyone in our office that's doing an open house. And do you know how, I'm hoping that you guys know how to search for that. You can actually search for our office by, it's the number. Lydia, help me out here. What number? What number are we? 758?
Our market center number?
Yeah.
188.
188, no?
Oh, on the multiple listing service?
Oh, 8758 if you're Main Street.
Okay, 8758, you would search office and open houses, and you could put in whatever date you want. So then you can see if another agent in our office is sitting in open house and you're free, you contact them and ask them if you can come with them just to, you can be helpful, but you can also just sit and learn and see how it's run. All right. One suggestion. Anybody have another suggestion of? Those, you know, those two are perfect. So, open houses are a prospecting activity. So they're meant to generate future business, and they're not necessarily meant to sell the home that you're holding. Although I can say in 30 years, I can probably count on two hands after hundreds of open houses that some of these homes do sell at open houses. So just be ready for anything. So what you want to do is prepare for the open house, and you want to prospect, and then pursue would be the follow-up. And we're going to go through each of these steps and kind of guide you on how to do it in the best way. So I'm sure you have seen this warning about the registry, the Do Not Call National Registry, and even the most experienced agents sometimes make that call and the person on the other line says, you know, I'm on the Do Not Call registry. And what your response should always be is, I'm really sorry. I will make a note of that and I won't call you again, and just, you know, hang up. Okay. So preparing for an open house. So once you've made the decision to do an open house and you have one in mind, either you have a listing that you're going to do the open house for, or you spoke to someone in the office that's doing an open house and you're going to go with them, or you're doing an open house for them. Okay, so those are three ways that you can get an open house scheduled. So you want to start a week in advance. So on Monday, you want to put out, I have sign writers, and I put them out on Monday so that for a whole week, you have an ad on your sign or on the sign in front of the house that says open house. And you have to decide prior to putting that sign up, are you going to have it Saturday or Sunday? And what time are you going to have it? And there's no set time for doing an open house, but I can tell you that you do have to put some thought into it. You don't want to have an open house on Easter Sunday, or, you know, even if Greek Easter, or, you know, you have to be aware of holidays and religious things, football games. You know, Super Bowl Sunday is not really a good day to have an open house, although, you know, some agents might disagree with me, but I have done opens on Super Bowl Sunday and no one has come. So that's where I'm basing my statement on. And then, you know, you have to think about the house that you're having the open house at. Is it close to a grocery store where people are shopping Saturday and Sunday? And when is the busiest time that they're usually at the store? Sometimes it's, you know, maybe 11 to 2, or you could do it 12 to 3. You know, 1 to 4 has always been the majority of the time, but it doesn't have to be that. You just have to make sure to adjust your sign writer and all of your publicity about your open to fit your time. So let's say we're going to do it Sunday from 1 to 4, just because that's what it used to be all the time. So I'm going to hang up my sign writer on the sign in front that says open Sunday 1 to 4. I'm going to start advertising on all of the sites, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Make up a flyer on, you can use Command, has beautiful flyers. You can make up flyers in the cloud on the MLS. Anybody else have suggestions of where they make up flyers?
I think Michael Lewis, did you say that?
Oh, no, I didn't. Thank you, Tony. Michael Lewis. And these flyers, they're all free and they're beautiful. So you want to make up some that are for social media, and through command, you can actually do a campaign. It'll cost you $10. I mean, I can't tell you how much that $10 is worth to go into command and set up a Facebook campaign advertising your open house. So they'll give you the template to do a really nice flyer, and they'll advertise it on your social media for you get to choose how much you want to spend and how many people it's going to go out to, but $10 gets you, Tony, help me out here. Is it 1,000 people or close to?
On Facebook?
Yeah, when you,
I mean, to be honest, I've done it just a few times. I'm not sure, but I think, yeah, several hundred for sure.
yeah. So, I mean, for $10, that's a great place to post. And then all of your friends on Facebook and their friends see that you're in real estate. It's also an advertisement for yourself and your services, as well as the open house. You want to generate a call list and call 25 of the neighbors and make sure that you adhere to the do not call policies. You want to invite your database. You can send through command again. You can set up a smart plan with the flyer advertising your open house, and you could send it to everyone in your database. Just again, they might not even be in the neighborhood or wanting to buy anything, but again, it puts it out there that you're doing business, and it keeps you front of mind, which is what we want. We want our people to call us when they're interested in buying or selling, or they know of anyone that's interested in buying and selling. So you want to post online, print open house flyers, and so you want to make up a flyer that you're going to hand out to people that come to the open house. And you want to make sure that you have all your picture and all your contact information on there, as well as the description of the house and maybe the highlights of the house. I always get a mortgage lender to do a flyer for me, showing some breakdowns of what it would cost to own that house. And not only am I featured on that page, but my lender is too. What was that? Oh, okay. And then think about other things of value that you can have for, at your open house as a handout. Sometimes I will have a list of all the properties for sale in the area, because people that come to open houses, they're usually come on impulse. So they're driving around, maybe they're driving around looking for a specific type of home, but they see your open house and they say, let's just stop in. Well, that house may not be the house that they're really looking for, but if you have a list with you of other houses in the area, and a good tip is just have one copy, not handouts, because that one copy, you can tell them that you'll take a picture of it and send it to them, or say that it's on your phone already and that you'll forward it to them, because this way you're assured you're getting their correct phone number. And then you've already established a contact with them. You could have a number of them to a number of those lists to hand out, but make sure that those lists have your business card and all your contact information on every one of them. So that, again, you're front of mind. And another helpful piece of information to have with you is other open houses in the area, because if they're already stopping at your open house, they will want to keep going, especially if they're kind of looking in an area. But if you give them the list of other open houses, make sure you give them your business card and let them know to just sign in with your card. This way they won't be bothered by other agents. Make sense? So Saturday, we're doing the open house Sunday. So Saturday, what you'd want to do is take some of your flyers and knock on the doors on both sides of the block of the house you're having open. And when someone answers, there is a script that we're going to, I think it's, let me see, where is the script? Do you guys have it in your flyer? The script? Or I'll just, does anyone have their script handy? Okay, nobody. So I'm going to read it to you then. So I'm going to, I probably would do it Saturday morning, not too early, but I want to get it done. And it would probably take you an hour to just go both sides of the street. Even with COVID, you know, you ring the bell, you've got your mask, you step back when they open the house, open the door. And I would say, hello, my name is Arlene Zingsheim with the Zing Team and Keller Williams Realty Partners. I'm here because the Smiths down the street have asked me to invite you to the open house I'm having on Sunday. And feel free to bring someone with you from work or a friend that might be interested in the house, because wouldn't it be great to pick your own neighbor? If we could all do that, it would be a wonderful thing. Do you know anyone who might be interested in being your neighbor and moving on this block? And you wait and see what they say, and then say, thank you very much for your time. And by the way, since you've lived here for a while, can you share with me what you like about being on this block, so that I can share with people that come into the open house and find a really good family for your neighborhood? And they will usually tell you something, you know, we like it because of the school is just down the street, or it's around the corner. You can walk to all of the schools. There will be reasons that they give you. And it's what you're really doing is just starting a conversation and actually finding a prospect. It's what I would do with a person that I had a conversation with while I'm advertising the open house. I would, before I left, I would say, oh, and by the way, what is your name? Get their first name. You can look up, you know, their name on Remind as the owner, because I would make a notation after I left of what address that was. Look it up on Remind, have their name, address, and their phone number if it's on there. And a lot of times it does say DNC, do not call, but sometimes it doesn't. So I would put those people in my database on command and set them up on maybe a neighborhood nurture or something. So again, you haven't even gotten to the open house and you could already be prospecting. Make sense?
Yes, Arlene, thanks. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure you guys are still there.
I'm just trying to write it all down.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, me too.
And
We're
that-
here. We appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you guys too. And actually, a lot of the stuff, well, I'm sharing other things, but a lot of the stuff is on your Ignite workbooks. So now we're going to prepare. We found the location, the time. We talked about traffic patterns and local practices. I guess we didn't talk a lot about local practices because wherever you're having an open house, you do want to make sure that you know the rules of signage. You know, sometimes it makes sense to put up your signs the night before so you get full, you know, coverage of people driving by and seeing it, but it's not always allowed overnight. For example, in Park Ridge, it's not, they don't allow signs to be put up overnight, although the public works people aren't generally working over the weekend, so they're not taking your signs down. But I did an open house once in a condom, or it was a town home development. It was pretty big in Wheeling, I think it was. And where I was having the open house was way in the back. So there was like an entranceway. And then I had signs by the entranceway off the main street and then along the route to get to the house. And nobody came. And when I went, and I was by myself, so which I don't advise that, but we'll get into that later. And when I went to pick up my signs, they were gone, all of them. And I thought, where the heck did they go? And I, you know, walked around and drove around, and then I called the village and I asked if they picked them up, and they said no. It turned out that somebody was walking on the street, and I asked this person, and they said, well, we don't allow signs in our development for open houses. And someone, they knew of the man who always took them and he threw them in the garbage. So luckily, I went to the garbage bin and I had to fish them out. And there was spaghetti on there. I mean, it was not pretty. So I would really advise you all to make sure that you know the rules of wherever you're having the open. I had an open house once it was a condominium building that still had some models that were being sold, and my client was a resale already. And so I was trying to jump in on the model open house, and I put my sign up there, and they told me they were going to call the police on me if I didn't leave. So I left. But, you know, just a piece, just something to think about. Make sure that you're putting the signs in places where they're allowed. Like, they have to be on the parkway, not on public, you know, not on someone's lawn. And if you're going to put them, if the only place you can put them on is someone's lawn, then you need to ask permission. You need to, and that's another way of, you can use that script, you know, your neighbor, the Smiths over at 408 Northwestern, asked me to invite you to their open house. And by the way, do you mind if I put my sign on your lawn, just, you know, directing people down there just for the day of the sale, or, I mean, the open house. So again, just be aware. Okay, we're not going to be, oh, here's the script. I was ahead of myself, sorry. Okay, but the script is in the PowerPoint if you want to find it. Here, I'll go back to it one more time. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not in yours. Okay. So here's what I talked about as well, social ad campaigns. You go on command, under campaigns, do you see where it says social, well, it does, there's a box that says, oh, here we go. Advertise listing, even though it could be someone else's, but advertise listing. Then it says social media on the next page. And then it walks you through putting in this social media ad. Any questions about that?
No, thanks, Arlene.
Okay. So, again, what we're doing when you host an open house, you're prospecting, you're promoting and hosting, and then you're capturing leads. Some of the things, you can follow along. Greet everyone that walks in the door. Make sure that guests sign in. I can't stress that enough. Some people will say, I don't want to sign in, or I'm not signing in. And my advice is to tell them that they can't see the home. If they don't sign in, my seller has instructed me that everyone must sign in or they're not allowed in the home. Okay, I mean, I don't know how much clearer you can make that. I can tell you a quick story of another open house I held, and a man and woman, they rode their bikes up to it. And at the door, I asked, I said, registration is required. And they were like, well, we don't want to register. We just want to see the house. And I said, well, the seller requires that everyone register, and I can't let you in unless you do. And then the woman, she huffed, she just went, and she turned around and started to walk away, and her husband grabbed the clipboard and started signing in. And she turned around and said, what are you doing? And he said, I want to see the house. So he came in and she didn't. But I had his name and I had his phone number and an email. Those are the three things that are a must. Some sign-in sheets are pretty lengthy. They have a lot of information, but I would suggest the one that will be showing it soon. Just ask for name, phone number, email address. And another thing that people do is they scribble it so you can't read it. So my suggestion is make it a habit to either you hold the clipboard and write down their name and phone number and email address as they're telling it to you. This way it's clear. Or if you're letting them do it, pick it up and look at it. And if you can't read it, say, oh, what is this number again? And make sure you get good information, because if you don't, you're pretty much sitting there for no reason. You're wasting your precious time away from your family and loved ones, and from something that you might want to be doing more than what you're doing, and for no reason. So let's get these prospects so that you can follow up with them. Make sure that you're walking around with each and every person. And that's another reason I suggest always go with 2 people. at an open house. Not only is it safer, it's more fun to have two people. And this way, I don't know what it is about open houses, but it seems like people come in groups together. So either you're going to be walking around with two groups at one time, or if you do have two people, then you take one group and your other associate takes the other group. And don't let people walk around on their own, even if the house is empty. Walk around with them, because the reason you're there is to build rapport, ask questions. This is your opportunity to ask them all kinds of questions. And they suggest using the Ford method. Family, ask about family, ask about occupation, recreation, and dreams. And, you know, as you're walking around, you don't have to say like, oh, this is the kitchen and this is the living, because they know that, you know. So as you're walking through, you can point out certain things that the seller let you know, like, you know, brand new appliances, or kitchen was just redone 2 years ago. Of course, you can say stuff like that, but the questions you should really be asking are, you know, do you own or do you rent? And if they say they rent, oh, do you have a lease that's coming up soon that you're looking to buy? Maybe it's the school, you know, are you interested in the school district? Are you looking to make a move soon? Give me some other questions that you can think of that you might ask someone that you're taking through an open house. I want to hear some new ideas.
I don't know, maybe, you know, what brought you to this home today, would be a starter, and just ask questions, 3 questions deep from there.
That's a great question. What brought you to this home today? And what do you think they might be answering?
Just looking.
Yeah, that is. You know what? And they all say that, and it's not true. I mean, sometimes it is, but the more you ask more probing questions, then you find out the real reason why they're looking. And even on the follow, that's why it's so important to have a valid phone number, because that follow-up, it's amazing what you learn at that point. So you want to learn as much as you can while you're walking around, but you know, people are guarded. They don't know you, so they don't want to give you that much information, but you're building rapport. So you want to be friendly and just ask questions, you know, like, oh, do you have young children? The school district here is really good. So then you find out if they have kids, you know. Oh, what are their ages? You know, like I think it was Vanessa said, you're asking layered questions to find out a little bit more, to find out if they're an immediate buyer or seller, or a future buyer or seller, and what you might be able to help them with. But I'm going to go back because I forgot a very important question. That would be my number 1 question, and it's actually on my sign-in sheet. Does anyone know what that is? What's that?
I was gonna say pre-approval, but Nicole's answer is better.
Oh, what was Nicole's answer?
Are you working with another realtor?
That's the answer. Yeah, that should be your number 1 question. or make sure that it's up there. And that's actually on my sign-in sheet. Are you working with a realtor? But, all right, again, just like when the people that say they're just looking, a lot of people check off, yes, I am, because they don't want you to, they don't want you to call them and bug them. But until they get to know you, then they'll see your value and they will want to work with you. So don't give up on that. So when they click off yes, that they are working with another realtor, I ask them, I go, oh, I see you checked off you're working with a realtor. Who are you working with? And boy, that's when the real truth comes out. Some of them, a lot of them do have the name of the realtor they're working with, but it's surprising how many don't know. I don't know the name, or they just know a first name. So you're not even sure if they're telling you the truth or not. So that makes me think, okay, I don't think that they are, unless they tell me a name and the company, and then I'll usually say, oh, I don't, either I know them or I say, oh, I don't know that agent, but I'm glad that you're working with someone that's a professional and that's going to help you. So then I kind of change my gears, you know, and I'm still asking those questions in the event that they're lying. But I'm also, I think, pushing the home a little more than I am pushing myself. You know, you have to be ready for anything, right? And any comments, any questions. And don't be afraid to, when they ask you a question, don't be afraid to say, I don't know. Don't make up an answer. Just say, I don't know, but I will get you the answer. And I'm carrying my clipboard around and I'll write a note. You know, they asked about, it could be something about the house that I didn't know, or something about the neighborhood. And then I go, do you want me to call you or email you the answer? And that's also a good way to verify that you've got good information. Always be the professional and always come from a place of value. Provide value, okay? You could also offer to put them on your KW app. That's another way of making sure. Oh, here we go. Here's where the sign-in sheet, or, you know, now there's all kinds of ways that we could capture the lead. We could put them directly into our KW app. You can tell them, you know, I'm registering you for the open house through my KW app. And you'll be able to look at other properties for sale, or see when something, when there's an open house in the area, or you'll be able to search for homes on here. Would that be something you'd be interested in? So make sure you have your KW mobile app on your phone. Make sure your phone is charged, of course. And some people might say, no, I'm not interested in doing that. So I would suggest also having the sign-in sheet. And like I said, I like this format that just asks for the name, email, address, and phone number. And then, are you working with a realtor, yes or no? And actually, my sign-in sheet has another column that says, how can I best help you? And I have boxes by looking to buy right away, buying within a year, I'm selling a property, or just looking. Not everybody goes to that extent to fill out anything there, and I don't push it, because I'm hoping that by walking around with them and asking the questions that I'm going to get all the answers I want. My suggestion also is if it's not too crazy busy and a person doesn't come, one after another, whenever you have some downtime, to take your sign-in sheet and turn it on the back and write notes behind the registrant that maybe you found out the names of their kids or their dogs or their pets, or some information that you don't want to forget. Their lease ends, date. Write that information on back, because trust me, if you have 20 people at an open house or even 10, it's going to get confusing to you. And these notes they're a lifesaver. And when you follow up with them and you mention their kids by name or their pets by name, they like that. You've already built rapport with them, and you feel a connection, and that's what you want in order for them to feel comfortable working with you. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank
actually, you stole my question.
What question?
How do you keep track of the information you're gathering from them? Because
Oh,
I
good.
like,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's and that's a tip. I don't know that everyone does that, but that's what I do, and I've told everyone I know in real estate to do that. And then there's an open house sign-in sheet template in your Elements toolkit, and you can customize it to your specific needs. So do you think there's any other information that should be on these open house sheets? I think, email address, phone number, name is cool. And because now, some of them have address. Most people don't give you their address, but you can look that stuff up now. So yeah, I think keep it simple, but make sure people fill it out and make sure it's legible. That's really important. Okay, so, sorry. Capture the lead, create a neighborhood landing page. I'm not gonna really do much on this because I'm not this tech savvy. If you are tech savvy, you might want to bring your laptop to the open and use this as a lead capturing sign-in sheet. Oops, sorry. Tony, are you using this at all?
No, I haven't. I haven't done so many open houses as I wish I would, but one of my goals this year is to start them right after Super Bowl.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Because, and you're saying right after the Super Bowl, because isn't that what everybody thinks, that, that's when the market heats up?
I mean,
And it does. It does.
I don't kind of like the idea of having it in such a cold weather, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's messy. Yeah, I understand. So if you want to get really technical, there is a way that you can create a landing page, and you would do that in Command under consumer icon, under landing page, and create new site. So it'll walk you through it, but I'm not going to really talk much on it because I don't have any experience with it. Okay. Let's see. Oh. Oh, I'm having a little problem here. Sorry. So open houses and safety. There have been, I don't know if you hear, occasionally you hear about agents that are getting attacked, and open houses are like a prime example of how we are so vulnerable to someone doing that. You know, we're sitting at a home that's vacant. Even if the people live there, they're not there for the open house. And we're inviting strangers to come in. So I can't stress enough to do open houses with somebody else. And if you don't, make sure to follow these rules, you know, park on the street, meeting the neighbors and letting them know that you're doing an open house. And even if, you know, they don't come, I would tell them, you know, if you see anything strange or anything, please call me, or, you know, I'm doing this open house by myself. If anything is odd, you know, I'd appreciate it if you come and check on me, you know, just let them know that you're there. And if you have some concerns, let them know. Never turn your back on a prospect when you're showing or walking through the house with them. Let them lead and just follow behind them. If you're not comfortable, there have been times when I wasn't comfortable going in the basement with someone, and I would say, and it's true because I do have a bad knee, but I can go downstairs. I tell them, yeah, my knee is really bothering me. I'm not going to go downstairs with you. I'll just let you go downstairs and I'll stay up here. We could, you know, yell back and forth if you have any questions. At the beginning of the open house, you should get there early and make sure that both front and back door are unlocked in case you have to leave quickly. And you should let someone know where you are and when you'll be done. And usually my husband would be that person, but there were times when, you know, he'd have to snowplow or do something where I knew I wouldn't be able to reach him. If he was at a golf outing, I was like, okay, he's useless to me. I would call the girls at the front desk. They're so helpful for that, and they'd be happy to help you. And just letting them know where you are, and maybe even checking in with you a few times during the time that your open house is going through, and you could call back and forth. And very important to make sure your cell phone is charged. Does anyone think of anything else that you can do to be safe? Okay.
What about the red folder? Nicole probably knows better than me. I know there was something like calling the office and saying red folder.
Yeah, it's a code. I don't know if Nicole, maybe you could tell us do the girls at the front desk follow that?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so if anyone is having a problem at a showing or an open house, you could call the front desk and say, could you get me the red folder and then the property address, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah, so you would call us, ask for the red folder, red file. We know exactly what that means, so we'll ask you, okay, what's the address of the property? You let us know, 123 Main Street, and if you're ever in a situation where you're uncomfortable, call us, let us know that, and we'll be the ones to call the police. That way, whoever's there making you uncomfortable, making you feel unsafe, they're not alerted, and they won't hurt you or hopefully it never gets that far, but yeah,
Exactly.
that would be,
And actually, if you have two people there, that's not going to be an issue. So I recommend doing open with a partner.
yes.
Okay. All right. That's our piece of advice. So now we're doing the follow-up and converting. The follow-up after the open house can be done immediately. Well, maybe not immediately, but that evening or the next day. I would call. I know we would tend to just want to send a thank you email, which you could do that in addition, but I would first make the phone call and just, say something like this. Hi, it's Arlene Zingsheim with the Zing Team at Keller Williams Realty Partners. We met at the open house at 408 Northwestern earlier this afternoon, and I'm just following up to see what you thought of the house. Did you have any interest or any questions about the house? And that's when I found people really open up. I don't know if it's because they're not face to face with you or they've thought about it, but that's when they tell you their true feelings about the house, and their situation. Yeah, we like, they might say, yeah, we like the house, but we're really not in a position to move yet. We have to get our house ready to get sold and then, start really seriously looking. Is that not a perfect opportunity to set up an appointment? I could offer you a free market analysis to give you a really good idea of what your house would sell for and what the time frame would be, and offer my professional opinion on things that you might want to do to get your house ready for sale. Would you be interested in meeting with me either tomorrow or the next day or sometime this week and get that appointment? It's a perfect opportunity. And if they don't answer, you could leave them a message that you wanted to give them additional information on the house, something that would entice them to call you back maybe. And in addition, I would send a thank you for visiting our open house email. And by doing both things, you're also verifying that they have, or that you have the correct email address and the correct phone number. What are some other questions you can ask them when you're calling them back? Well, you can actually, whatever questions you ask them to find out if they're an immediate buyer or an immediate seller. And then when you get home later that evening or the next day for sure, make sure you put them all in your contacts in command and put them on a smart plan. The key to, working these leads is to stay in touch, be top of mind so that you're the person they call when they're ready. I'm just going to finish up here with some best practices, which are just some ideas to make your open house stand out. You could host a speaker, you can offer a gift. You can go live on your social media during the open house. That's a new thing. That's really fun to do, and people that you're reaching get a kick out of it because they're responding to you and may be interested in the house, but again, you're getting yourself out there and being the person you're being the professional and being out there. So some best practices for hosting an open house: welcome visitors at the door, get the house in showing shape, and think safety first. What you want your sellers to not do is don't leave valuables exposed, don't have any messy meals or snacks, and don't make assumptions. I know we're at our time frame, but we're right at the end here, so just bear with me. So your success kit is right here, where some of the things you might want to bring are disinfecting wipes, toilet paper, paper towels, pens, air freshener. Make sure you have business cards, power for your phone in the event the battery dies, measuring tape, trash bags, tissues. Can anyone think of anything else you might want to make sure to have with you? Right.
Clearly now you're gonna have, I mean, extra face mask would be nice too at this point.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And I provide the booties for all of my listings, and I make sure that people, even at open houses, you'll have to bring extra booties so that they put them on or take their shoes off, regardless of whether the house is vacant or someone is living there. But like Tony said, the masks, it's good to have some extra masks just in case, although it's really unusual for anyone to walk around without a mask nowadays.
It might be a neighbor, you know, just walking around and saw the house, and then this neighbor might turn into a potential client. You never know.
Oh, that's true. And they'll be so impressed that you had a mask for them so that they could come in. And again, remember, when you're hosting an open house, it's a job interview. So make sure that you separate yourself from the people coming in by looking like the professional and acting like the professional, and always be in control. Don't let people take control. Don't let people walk in with 3 kids and let them just start running around. You know, you have to be the one that says, I'm sorry, but this is how we're going to view the home. Your kids need to stay with us, and they can't be touching things, and we'll walk through the house together, okay? And if they don't want to do that, then, you have to be in control and tell them how it's going to be. And as we discussed, the follow-up is as important as getting the information, and it's going to be the way you find out if the people are interested in the house they looked at, or they're going to be a potential buyer or seller working with you. And that's our objective, is to get them to work with us. Does anyone have any questions?
Arlene, I got on a little bit late, but maybe you covered this, so I apologize. But are there limits on how many we can have in the home with COVID?
Not really, but for your own safety and the safety of everyone else. The example I gave, you were not here, but my partner, my son and I, the Zing Team did an open house on a new listing we had, and we did it Saturday and Sunday, and we had 20 parties each day. And we were social distancing. We people had to wait outside. Some, we sent them in the backyard, and Eric would take a family or a group in. And if he was on the main floor, I would take a group in and we'd start upstairs, so that we never had, there were always 2 families, sometimes 3, because if an agent was there showing their clients, I would let them come in, but I told them that we're social distancing. If someone is upstairs, then you need to wait until they come down, and we're going to try and view the home together but apart. And it worked out. It really did. There was one family, and they were with their agent, and their agent told us that the family didn't feel comfortable coming in because we had, so many people like milling around. But one family out of 40, it was worth it. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions, ahas? Anyone want to add anything?
I like what you said about how you after learning about the prospects when they come in, you turn the sign-in sheet over and you write little notes about them. So that was definitely something that was like, oh wow, I like that.
Yay. Like I said, if there's one thing that you learn in a class and that you implement, then it's worth it. And it was worth it. So I appreciate that. And I love doing that. It has been so helpful for me throughout the years. So thank you. Well, unless there's any other questions, I'll let you guys go, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Arlene. I really learned a lot, and
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate the time that you took to
Thank you. Thanks
teach
for your
us
time
today.
as well.
So thank you.
Thanks, Arlene.
You're
Tons,
welcome.
tons of little nuggets. Thank you.
Yes.
I can't wait to see you all in the office at some future date.
Yeah, hopefully soon.
Yeah. All right, have a great weekend and schedule some open houses.
Yes, good luck, everyone.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
good luck
Yep.
to you guys. If you have any questions, you could reach out to me. You could text or email. All right?
All right. Thanks.
Thank you,
Okay,
Arlene.
bye. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.